Been a long time. Pleased to meet you.
How's it going? Yeah, it's good to see you. I was actually just on the way up here was talking about during the tour when we first met and hung out here, and the kids were burning the plastic and inhaling the burning plastic to get high while the orb played.
Wow. You were walking over in front of the stage. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. And I think that we might have actually been doing an interview while we were watching the kids burning the plastic late at night out there. That's nice to see you. How's it going?
Pleased to meet you again, and you too.
Good, thanks.
A lot of people were really anticipating your concert. A lot of people are walking around with Audioslave t-shirts. Cool. You guys have a huge Pinkpop root, right?
Yes, we do. We have big Pinkpop roots. It was the first festival show we ever played as Rage Against the Machine. It was a pretty big jump. We went from opening up for bands in venues of about 3,000 or 4,000 to this, and we had never seen anything like it before. I mean, there's no equivalent to it. Even when they were doing Lollapalooza in the States, it was in seated venues, so we had never seen anything like that before with a big field. I mean, you take it for granted, but when you come over from the States and you're used to playing small clubs and stuff, it was pretty overwhelming, and we've had some good times here. We're looking forward to another good time today.
Yeah, definitely. Festivals were awesome, and this was our first one, and it was a big eye-opener for all of us. I was talking to Tim on the way over here today, and he was just saying how he had no idea what to expect. You know, he thought he thought the festival was gonna have some sort of circus vibe, and there was gonna be tents everywhere, and he had no idea that there was gonna be that amount of people in one place. So it was very exciting for us.
So a lot of people shed a lot of tears when the trouble with Rage Against the Machine was going on, but then when we heard that Chris Cornell would join you guys, everyone was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, well, we felt the same way. we can pretty much agree with that. Yeah, that we knew that there was a tremendous amount of creativity within Tim and Brad and myself, and we knew that we were really excited about continuing to make music, because it wasn't that Rage Against the Machine broke up. Zach left the band, so and the fact that we hooked up with Chris has just been a real godsend, and we've been having a great time making music that we just love to play, having a great time touring, and there's not much precedent for it. For people that come from two established bands like that to come together to make a brand new entity, and it's like we play all Audioslave songs and a couple of cover songs, and to really establish ourselves as a new band, and to be back, now it's I guess in Pinkpop, first time we played it might have been '93, so it's 10 years later to be one of the headlining acts on this same festival. It's awesome.
So the first time I got your record, I got it really fast from a company because they really were anticipating us. So what do you think? And people asking me on the radio, so what does it sound like? Everybody wanted to know, and the only thing I could come up with was like, well, imagine a Led Zeppelin, but now and better.
Oh, well, that's a positive review. We should put that on a T-shirt, I think.
Yeah, it's too long, but I mean, I was really impressed because the combination is unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, that's when we started writing songs together, we didn't really have any idea of what it was going to sound like. We didn't try to make it sound like one thing or another. We just sort of let it develop naturally. I think that's why why we found it compelling. We weren't trying to shoehorn it into a particular style or any combinations of style. Just let it develop organically. And so, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, what happened to the name? Because first your name was Civilian. I thought it was a really cool name, actually.
Yeah, me too. No.
Not your idea, right?
No, seriously.
Matter of fact, that is a cool name, Brad. We may change our name before today's set. Thanks for bringing it up.
But that was, it was rumors, and we never really had decided on any name other than Audioslave. So. There's a lot of rumors that go around, and that just happened to be one of them.
Well, you guys made it impossible for another band to call themselves Civilian, because I mean...
That's true. Actually, it would probably be a smart move for someone to call themselves Civilian. They might think it's our side project or something.
Hey, what happened? There was this thing going on with the record companies, because both record companies contacted me, like, those guys are working together, and we got the album. And I was like, well, what? We got the album? And they got like, well, there are probably 2 albums. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, Chris was signed to a different record company than Rage Against the Machine, so they had to work it out, and they actually worked it out pretty easily. I'm not sure what the situation is in Europe, but in the States, the first record comes out on Epic Records, and the second one comes out on Interscope, and they made that sort of deal. I honestly don't know what happens here in Europe with regards to it, but they seem to be able to work it out.
Yeah, because we were like, that's probably a good thing, because now we got 2 records.
Yeah.
Well, it could either be a good thing or a bad thing, and we're finding out that, yeah, it seems like it is actually going to be a good thing, but the next record we make, Interscope, I believe, will be handling the bulk of it, and for this record, Epic was. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely brand new territory.
Yeah, I love the artwork for the album. Who did it? Who came up with it?
That's fun. A fella by the name of no. It's not a stupid question. It always makes me laugh when people bring up the artwork.
Because we think of the guy who
We think of the guy.
did it.
It's actually a statue, right? It's
We hired the same person who made the artwork for Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and Led Zeppelin 4. We just called him up and asked if he was interested, and he's like a crazy British dude, and that's actually him on the cover. That is the artist. His name is Storm, and he came up with. He's a very, very eccentric gentleman, as you can imagine, and he came up with this idea to have like a 3-story tall metallic flame, and to put it. Initially, the idea was to put it in Iceland, where he would take this photograph, but there were some logistical problems in getting this thing, because it's huge. It's like the size of a building. That's a real piece of art on the cover. So instead, they transported it to an island off east coast of Africa, off of Tanzania, which is where the U.S. astronauts trained in the late 60s because the landscape was so lunar looking. And there you have it, because it's an iconic image that we hired the guy that made some of the great classic rock images, and we thought, why not go for broke? We're looking at the album cover right now, just thinking how crazy it looks.
I mean, they took it apart again, and they took it along.
It's right there. If you can go, I'm not sure what the name of this. It's a tiny mini island, but it is still there, probably rusting in the rain.
So you can actually visit it. I mean,
you can visit it right now. Yes, you can get it.
Tourist attraction, I believe.
Hey, song-wise, a lot of songs already got through the web. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I'm sorry. Repeat.
The internet. I mean, do you see it as a problem?
I mind it when the songs get through that are just demos, and that's the most frustrating part.
How does it happen? I always wonder, how does it happen? I mean,
you have either a guy in a studio. It takes one person to download one thing on the internet, and bam, it's in millions of people's hands. That's how it happens. And you have
no control, because
in this instance,
we have Timmy C.
Yeah, Timmy C will visit your ass if you download something. But in this instance, it was just and there he is. That was Timmy just opened the door, looking at. He heard his name was evoked. Wondered if one of you guys was downloading something in here.
Erase all your shit now.
He was going to take care of business. In this case, it was just an intern at a studio in Seattle where Chris was doing some vocals, who helped himself to a copy, burned a couple copies for friends, and it wasn't for about 6 months later. Actually, my girlfriend in Los Angeles was in the car with a guy who had a copy of it, right? And she was like, "What the hell's going on? Like, how in the world did you get this?" And he was like, felt all guilty. But it actually was an Italian website that finally put it up. But on the internet age, stuff can travel so fast. Like, we didn't care so much about the fact that we might impact record sales or something like that, because we were very protective of how the music sounded, and these were demos. This was not the record. It wasn't.
People thought it was our record.
Yeah,
so
and that was the big mistake, was that we thought, oh no, because our own record, the real record, wasn't going to be coming out for another 6 months or so, and so people have all this time to sort of absorb an inferior version of what it is that we were doing. But all of that's behind us. The real record is out, and so people can hear what it really sounds like. We're playing shows. We've sort of dispelled all those rumors and stuff, so it's all good.
Yeah, because what happened was, we played the song on the radio, we got the whip, we got the better bomb, and we didn't know the title yet, and everybody was like, I gotta buy this stuff, I gotta buy it right now.
Right.
So it can be promotional as well.
On the record.
It's a B-side.
B-side.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think it's a really good song, but you didn't put it on the record.
Yeah. We got a bunch more of those too.
You'll hear another one of those today, actually.
You gonna play those songs live as well? I mean, the songs that you didn't record?
We haven't. Well, actually, We Got the Whip is one we haven't. I think we maybe have just tried in a couple sound checks, but we did write and record more songs that were on the record, and we chose the songs. The final. We spent more time on this than on any other record that we had made in our careers, because we had such a wealth of material. With Rage Against the Machine records, we would just kind of barely get to 10 or 11 songs, and with this, we had a pool of 20 to pare down from, and we really spent a lot of time making it a complete kind of artistic whole as a record. In that process, there were some pretty great songs that were left off that, some of them have served as B-sides, some of them we've sort of been hoarding for perhaps the next record or future releases.
And coming from our old band that would struggle to get 11 songs on a record, to have 20 songs or something to choose from was not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a different kind of problem.
I really got to congratulate you with the album, because I think it's really awesome.
Thank you very much.
We got to stop because you guys have a lot more to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.